Hello, my name's Katria O'Neill, and I'm with Recovers. We help communities prepare for and recover from disasters with easy-to-use resource management for community. Now, I got into disaster recovery the hard way. In June of last year, my hometown, Munson, Massachusetts, was hit by an EF3 tornado. This is my house. Luckily, everyone was okay in our area, and I got involved on the ground in resource management at the local level, coordinating people who wanted to volunteer, people who wanted to donate, and people who needed things. Now, that's a lot of stuff to coordinate, and as you can imagine, building resource management systems, seat of the pants in a disaster zone is very difficult. So it occurred to us pretty early on, us local organizers, without training, without tools, that things were slipping through our fingers. The large aid organizations that were coming in to help have very specific missions, and those missions do not involve sending out the spontaneous volunteers. They don't involve collecting unsolicited donation items, and they can't stay. The local people stay. The city, on the other hand, has its hands full with federal reporting requirements. We didn't know, though, as the community producing the volunteer hours data and damage reporting, that they needed the information that we were reporting in order to apply for FEMA aid. And it kind of hit me at that moment, about a week in. I'm in charge. I have no marching orders, I have no tools, and I've sent out about 2,000 volunteers, but I can't prove it. So it occurred to me as well, if some local person is in this organizing position in every area after every disaster, the tools that we needed should exist, and we decided to build them. We've got volunteer and donation item databasing and management, private case management for the local area so that somebody applies once for help, but it's seen by any organization that comes in to help them, and information being posted by the people who are producing it on the ground. In our disaster, we found that using the free web tools that we had access to at the time wasn't capable of meeting all of our needs because it couldn't keep up with the information and it didn't database. This was our solution. It's resource organizing software. I want to show you how it works through an example of its use in a disaster area. This is Forney, Texas, small town like Munson, and they were also hit by an EF3 tornado last year, but they had our tools in place. Now, they experienced all the same problems. The first is timing. You've got about 7 days after a disaster of interest where you can collect resources. People are looking for you online, they're showing up in person. Unfortunately, this spike in interest does not match with the way people report needs. They have to wait for the insurance adjuster to visit, or they just aren't ready to talk about it yet. So you'll see there were about 4 days of interest where we databased hundreds and hundreds of volunteers and donation items. We collected $30,000 through an online donation button. And on day 4, you'll see interest tanked. Day 4 was the first day that people reported needs in that city, and we effectively bridged the gap. The second problem, commonly, is data. The city is in charge of reporting the volunteer hours, but they're not in charge of sending out the volunteers. In Forney, we were dealing with 5 different churches, hundreds of volunteers, thousands of hours, shipping containers of donated goods, and 1 city manager. And he's in charge of dealing with all of this information. Now, in any other area, this would have gone undocumented, but in Forney, he was able to access the information that the community organizations were producing and use it to apply for aid from FEMA and other organizations. Now, most importantly, Forney met every single need that was reported through this system. And then they started reaching out to the neighboring communities that were also affected by the storm and meeting their needs with their resources. This is community-powered recovery, and this can be a new standard. Now, recovery necessarily starts with planning before a disaster. And we're very pleased to announce that FEMA has just made public their Resilience Challenge at resilienchallenge.org. It offers up to $35,000 for any community implementing programs like this one that involve the whole community and engages them in planning for, preparing for, and recovering from disasters. Now, I'd encourage all of you to reach out to me during the course of the conference or just shoot me an email and just get to know more about how to prepare your community. Thank you.